All right, let's try this again. Class. All right, hopefully the microphone will pick up everyone here. There we go. Got my Pro Series mic right here. Okay, and I know no one's playing with their cell phone during this time, right? Time of great crisis. All right, so double angle identities. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is where it comes from. So double angle means two of the same angle, right?
Yes.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here is right here. Double angle. Here they are. Now, these are also on your reference sheet. Do you guys have that thing out?
Yep.
Yeah, double angle is on the right-hand side of the backside. So you'll most likely use your reference sheet the whole time. Backside, flip it one more time. Yes, flip it over. It's on the right. See those? No, up, 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 up. Yes, those are doubles. No. Wait. Slightly to your left. Yeah, that one. Okay. My right, your left. Sorry. I'm upside down. Does it say double angles? It says double angles, right? Okay, good. All right, so here's all the double angles. Now, we just have to use two of values that we know to get a value that we don't know. So it'll make sense here in a moment. It will. Trust me. So given cosine is 3 over 5, sine is less than 0, and find sine of 2 theta, and cosine of 2 theta, and tan of 2 theta. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my pen to be red, because I want red. So this is going to be, so if cosine theta is 3 over 5, that means x is 3, y is, I don't know, and r is 5. Right here it says sine is less than 0. So if sine is less than 0, that tells me that my y value is negative, right? The y value is going to be negative. So a little bit of Pythagorean theorem going on here. I'm going to have 3 squared plus y squared equals 5 squared. 9 plus y squared is 25. And so I get y squared equals 16. Y equals plus and minus square root of 16, where y is plus or minus 4. It has to be minus because up here it said sine is less than 0. So this is going to be a negative 4 from our y value. Make sense? Okay, good. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in for the formula for sine 2 theta. So back it up here. So sine 2 theta is 2 sine A times cosine A. Ah! So 2 sine A, cosine A, which is the same thing as saying as my theta instead. So my formula, so sine of this angle, 2, sine is going to be a negative 4 over 5. Cosine of the same angle is positive 3 over 5. ¿Es muy fácil? Sí, muy fácil. You multiply fractions straight across, right? So this is a whole number out front, so I'm going to kind of put that over 1 so we can see that. So let me see, 2 times 4 times 3, that's going to give me negativo 24, right? Yes? Okay. And 1 times 5 times 5. So my answer for sine of 2 theta is going to be negative 24 over 25. Is that pretty easy there? All right, now with cosine, I have three different versions of cosine. Your job, just pick the easiest one. That's all you have to do is whichever you find is going to be easiest. When we actually start having to use this later on, you're going to have a specific one you're going to have to use. Because if they only give you a cosine, you would use this one. If they only give you a sine, you would use this one. And if they give you sine and cosine, you could use this, or either there. The ones that you're most likely going to use most often is this one here with the sine squared or the cosine squared. So let's go through, and I'm going to use this one here. So 2 cosine squared a minus 1, 2 cosine squared a minus 1. That's my formula. 2 cosine. Cosine of this angle that I have over here is 3 over 5. Square goes on the outside right there. Minus 1. Am I going too fast? All right, let's do the math. So I'm going to do the exponent first. So I'm going to square this. So it's 2 times 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25. Close. Minus. Now, I'm going to do some crazy voodoo math right here. See this 1? I'm eventually going to have to add it together with this over here. I'm going to change this 1. I'm going to do some voodoo over here. So I'm going to say it's 25 over 25. Why would I do that? I need the common denominator, so might as well just put it into 25 over 25, right? So save myself some headaches later on. And so let's go ahead, and I'm going to do the multiplication. Again, this 2 out front is a whole number, so it goes like this over 1. So here I'm going to get 18 over 25 minus 25 over 25. Do my math, and I get a negativo what? 7 over 25. Is that pretty easy? Questions? No? All right, so we still got to do a tangent, though. So we got sine, cosine, and tangent. There we go. So tangent right here. So let's go back to my formula for tangent. 2 tangent A over 1 minus tangent squared A. Did I copy that down right? Minus 1 minus tangent squared A. Yep, I did. Now, we know tangent is, what does tangent represent? Y over x, right? Y over x. So it doesn't represent the cell phone in your hand right now, right? Even though it just slides right back into that pocket, right? 2 tangent y over x, the y value was -4, the x value was 3. Yes? Good? One minus -4 over 9. No, I'm sorry. It's 30 squared. Now, this is usually the little typo that a lot of people will make a mistake. Whenever you're squaring and you have a negative there, you have to square the negative with the number. Ah, turn off. There you go. You guys square the negative with the number. So as I do this, I'm going to do the top. So again, over 1 like this, I get negative 8 over 3. And on the bottom, this right here, I'm going to square negative 4. So it's negative 4 times negative 4 gives me a positive 16 over 3 squared is 9. And I'm subtracting this from 9 over 9. What the hell? Where'd that voodoo math come from? Transform to 1 because 9 over 9 is still 1, isn't it? There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and move this down over here. So I have negative 8 over 3 divided by, let's do this. So 9 minus 16 is going to give me negative 7 over 9. But wait, there's more. Do I have a fraction over fraction? Yes, we do not like fraction over fraction. So I'm going to take my top, which is negative 8 over 3. And I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom. Stop that. There you go. So reciprocal of the bottom, so I'm going to flip this over. So it's going to be a 9 over negative 7. So however you want to do this, I have a negative and a negative. Those are going to become positive. And I have a 3 and a 9. Those could reduce. So I will reduce this to a 3. This canceled to be a 1. So I'm going to get a 8 times 3 is 24 over 7. And it's positive because I had 2 negatives multiplying. Like that. Make sense? Questions, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories? Got a conspiracy theory that people walk in late and don't pick up the notes? I have that conspiracy theory. Where's my pile of notes? It's way over there? Okay. Can you pass her some notes? Or do you already do that? Yeah. He didn't do all that? How dare you? It's like getting that special spot in the airplane where you have a responsibility.
What place is that? The one next to the
Yeah, the exit. Yeah, the exit door. The emergency exit. You have to take responsibility. It's actually like a federal thing too. So if you are sitting there, you're taking responsibility, and if you don't, you can be found liable in the case of an actual accident.
For not, man, you're not surviving.
For not helping with that.
You're not surviving a plane crash anyways. Who do you call liable, bro? Liam Neeson survived.
I know. Come on, seriously. They landed it on the.
Liam Neeson is from the UK. Okay, I don't want to hear about it.
Who? The guy from. I don't know. I don't know when that happened. Yesterday? Oh.
Yesterday? You should know this. You know what did happen yesterday?
But it's Blink 182. Do you know what? I stopped listening to them like 20 years ago.
Who?
Back when they were actually like a thing.
Who?
Blink 182.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's like Mac something.
Whoa, this is very good.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. Huh?
Except people on both sides would have been mad at me for saying that because they're like on opposite ends of John.
Oh.
That guy's a drummer. The Macaroons are laughing.
He's a drummer? Or Travis Barker is?
Travis Barker.
Oh, Travis Barker's. Okay.
The alternate parallel timeline where Michael Jackson is a victim of 9/11.
All right. Hey, listen, pay attention. I know you don't have your cell phone out because you're paying attention to these notes that you missed at the beginning. we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to find the find the values of the 6 trig functions of theta given to theta. Now, we're starting off with the problem here. The problem is I'm giving you a double angle. This is a double angle, so that means it's not x, y, and r. This is not x, y, and r because it's a double angle. So what I need to do is I need to try and solve for x, y, or r. Actually, x and y. So if you look right here, I'm going to use one of these other formulas here that has only a sine or a cosine. And if you notice, these are turning a double angle, so I'm going from a double angle over to a single angle now. Because x, y, and r isn't the same when I have a double angle. So I'm going to use 2 cosine squared minus 1.
What's the name of the other actor? Ariana, what's the name of that other actor? I was on 9/11. It was Michael Jackson and the other guy. Mark Wahlberg or something? Yeah, him. No, we gonna talk about Steve Davidson.
All right, so I'm putting up the formula here so you can see how this is turning into this. Now, cosine of the double angle, I'm replacing this with 4 over 5. And I need to go and isolate my value. I'm going to try and isolate this. So 4 over 5 is equal to 2 cosine squared a minus 1. Now, I'm trying to isolate this to get this by itself, to get my cosine by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the 1. How would I get rid of that 1? Add it. So I'm not on the cell phone again. Diego, that's you. Put the damn thing away. Yes, it is your fault. I said put it away.
Yeah. No, it was like the first time I had it out.
Lies.
You know.
So I'm adding 1, but on this side, I'm going to do some voodoo. I'm adding 5 over 5.
Man, you never put up the homework.
I told you I'm going to put it up when I'm done here.
No, you just said
You better chill. You better chill, B. Seriously.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll give you the wide eye.
I'll give you the crazy eye.
The crazy eye?
Okay. So we're adding 5 over 5 to 4 over 5, right? And what do we get?
9 over 5.
Very good. So 9 over 5 is going to equal 2 cosine squared A. Now, I got to get rid of the 2 because I'm trying to isolate the cosine. So the 2 is multiplied by cosine, so to undo a 2, I divide by cosine. So I'm going to, watch this. I'm going to put 2 on the bottom here. I'm going to divide here. Because I'm dealing with the fraction, I'm going to make it look like this. So I'm still dividing by 2, right? But I'm multiplying by 1/2. Means the same thing. So that means I'm going to have 9 over 10 is equal to cosine squared A. I got to get rid of the square now. How do I undo a square?
You gotta take the square root.
Square root both sides, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to bring it up here. So it's going to be,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be plus or minus the square root of 9 over 10 is equal to cosine of A. Now, some of the rules that go along with this, if I have a fraction inside a radical, I could separate that into 2 radicals. So plus or minus square root of 9 over square root of 10.
Yeah, that's like 3.
Okay? Square root of 9 is 3.
Square root. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. Yeah.
So now it's going to be plus or minus 3 over square root of 10. But wait. Can I leave it like that?
No, you can't do that. You gotta rationalize it.
Rationalize. Very good. Let's rationalize here. So square root of 10 over square root of 10. So it's going to be plus or minus 3 square root of 10 over 10. And this is equal to my cosine of A. Now, I got to go back up here. Change colors again. So, right here, now that we have its cosine, what do we know about cosine in between 90 and 180? What quadrant's that? Quadrant 2. What about cosine in quadrant 2? It's negative. Cosine is negative in quadrant 2. Cosine is then negative in quadrant 2. So that means that x is going to be a negative 3 square root of 10. Y is, don't know yet, but R is 10.
Yeah. I agree.
Are you guys still following or just, you know?
No problem.
Okay, we still got to go through and actually try and figure out for the Y value. What do we know about Y value within this?
So, yeah.
Yeah, Y value is going to be a positive. I'll put a plus sign. Let's do Pythagorean theorem here. So when I do Pythagorean theorem, it's negative 3 square root of 10 squared plus Y squared equals 10 squared.
Are you using like a drawing tablet?
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, no way he's using a mouse. It's too deep. Like, no, this is question. This is like
When I square the square root of 10, that becomes
10.
10. But when I square the negative 3, that becomes,
9.
so 9 times 10 is going to give me
90.
90. Very good. 90 plus Y squared equals 100.
I'll say that.
Subtract 90, so I get Y squared is going to be 10. Y equals
Square root of 10.
plus or minus square root of 10.
But it gotta be plus.
It's got to be plus because we said this in quadrant 2.
Yeah.
So it says find the 6 trigonomic functions for this. So I have x, y, and r, so all I have to do is fill those in now. So let's go cosine of theta was negative 3 radical 10 over 10. Sine theta is going to be radical 10 over 10. Yeah, ignore this. They simplified it way too much because you can't have, R can't be this, right? Because you can't have that on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So ignore this part here. Next one's tangent. Tangent is y over x, so let's square root of 10 over negative 3 rad 10. What's going to happen to those radicals? They're going to cancel, right?
Yeah.
And what's going to be left in place of it?
1 is.
So it's going to be a negative 1 over 3. So after that, we get, let's go secant, is r over x, 10 over negative 3 rad 10. Again with the rationalizing. I get 10 rad 10 over negative 3 times, when I multiply these together, what's going to happen to my radical? It just goes away, right? Because it becomes square root of 100, which is just 10, isn't it? And I'm writing it like this on purpose. So I normally would just multiply these numbers together, but because there's also a 10 on top and a 10 on bottom, can I cancel that? So simplified, I get rad 10 over -3. Hopefully no one's not on their cell phone going over this because they're writing it all down. After secant, we have cosecant. So at cosecant theta is going to be radical, no, it's just 10, right?
Yeah.
Over rad 10. I'm going to rationalize again. And that's going to give me 10 rad 10 over 10.
But then 10's gonna cancel out.
And last one is cotangent. So that's x over y, so -3 rad 10 over my rad 10. Do I have to rationalize here? It's going to cancel, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to make life easier. So I got a rad 10 here and a rad 10 here. So I am going to have to, but the problem is I don't need to because these will cancel. And I'm left with just -3. So does this make sense or nonsense? Nonsense. All right. My X, Y's, and R's. So don't worry about this one. We're going to continue this one later. So I'm going to stop here. So make sure you all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Support my channel.